Shalom, this is Deacon DeForest Smith with the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel and the King James Bible University. And today's teaching is titled Black Pride. Ignorance and vainglory is something we must circumcise from our hearts and mind before it rots, chokes, and destroys the seed of wisdom planted in us. Black pride is a diseased condition which multiplies within generations of those lost in the world without hope, and reproduce in those led unto their own vain opinions and traditions of men, which is contrary to the wisdom and heritage of Jehovah. We must humble ourselves and understand our strength isn't in flesh, our black pride, but in wisdom. The only unity is through the body of Christ, being sound in one mind, the hope to come, and baptism condemning of that black pride. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 26, verse 3. Verse 4, verse 9, verse 11 through 12, verse 14 through 15, 19 through 20, 32, and 40 through 42. If, providing you walk in my statutes, and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain, that knowledge in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. So the elders are those that has the wisdom to teach and give instructions from Jehovah shall yield their fruit. Fruits of the Spirit, works of the Spirit. Verse 9. For I will have respect unto you and make you fruitful and multiply you and establish my covenant with you. Verse 11 through 12. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your guide, and ye shall be my people. 14 through 15. But if providing you will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments, let that pride rise in us. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my teachings and doctrines, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, (19 through 20), including I will break the pride of your power, because you are leaning towards your own understanding and you have broke the covenant that promised that we will seek him with all our soul, strength, and minds, and that we will humble and be obedient to the word of God and not to our own selves, that pride of our own power. And I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land, your body, shall not yield her increase. So you're not going to produce any works of the Spirit. You're going to have no profit, because the flesh profit is nothing. So it will not yield her increase. Neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. 32. And I will bring the land into desolation, because it's going to be barren and void. is not going to have any fruits. It's going to be empty, good for nothing. And your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. 40 through 42. But this is the solution. He always gives us a way out of our condition that we are in. Providing they shall confess their iniquity, the acts of sin, and the acts of sin of their fathers. Because we learned from them. We were their works. We were their servants. We gave obedience to our fleshly masters. With their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, because we took up those traditions of men. We celebrated every month. Holidays, which gives us pride of the flesh. And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If providing then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Luke chapter 8, verse 5 through 8. A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside. So we must understand that seed is that word. That sower is that spirit. Some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. So some fell by the wayside because they didn't hearken to that word that came up to them. They just pushed it to the side. They got away from it. They kept doing what they was doing. And it was trodden down because it was useless to them. And the fowls, the spirits of the air, devoured it. Be devoured by that serpent are those men that are as beasts, that roaring lion seeking to devour you. This word is the only thing that can protect us, give us that covering, that shield, that comfort from those that are trying to devour us in this world. And some fell upon a rock, those dwelling places, not our rock, those church buildings made with stone, made by man's hands. And as soon as it was sprung up, because they received that temporary joy, that temporary pleasure of the flesh, it withered away because it lacked moisture. You ain't getting no knowledge in those buildings because God don't dwell in temples made with hands. He is not our rock. They do not dwell upon the rock that we are of our same, the rock of our salvation. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it. So these are the ones that have things within the world that they just can't get rid of, and it hinders their growth, chokes them out, destroys them because they lack in the knowledge, but they are pleased, desire the things of this world, which choke that word out, that seed. And others fell on good ground. This is what we want. We want that good ground. So we have to till and show ourselves approved daily, that we want to grow in the spirit and not of pride, and sprang up and bear fruit in hundredfold. The fruits of the spirit, which our Creator is looking for, because we can't return unto Him empty. And others fell on good ground and sprang up on fruit. And when he had said these things, he cried, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Exodus 34. Exodus 34, 5 through 9. And the Spirit of God descended in the cloud. We know the cloud is the gathering of his members. And stood with him there, and proclaimed the way of the Spirit of God. And the Spirit of God passed by in the presence of him, and proclaimed the Spirit of God, the salvation of Israel, thy guide, merciful and gracious, long suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshiped. So he gave reverence and he humbled himself and understood that there's nothing good in the flesh and that we are all guilty of coming short of the glory of Jehovah because we are in the flesh and we are all sin. So we must circumcise and be obedient to that word. And he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Creator, let my Creator, I pray thee, I confess thee, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. But the prideful will force their way into an inheritance, will try to. They think they could just have it all without even transforming or renewing their minds. But they're going to get a rude awakening in the end. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 5 through 9. And said, I beseech thee, and said, I beseech thee, I beg thee, O Spirit of God, thy guide of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes understanding open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I confess before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee, both I and my father's house. My father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If ye transgress, if ye forget, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if ye turn unto me, and keep my commandments, and do them, though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. let's hit the next one. Exodus 34, 12 through 16. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God. For the Spirit of God, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat. Thou learn of his established covenant, and thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. So we're going to learn the traditions of men by being prideful and not cleaving to that word, not taking heed to thyself, but making a covenant with those that are round about us, because we lust after after our own eyes, our own understanding, and we make void of the word of Jehovah that is planted in us. So that seed, it dies because it's not fed with that rain from heaven. It's cut. That rain is cut off, so you become barren, desolate, void of understanding. Deuteronomy chapter 10. 12 through 17. And now, Israel, what doth the Spirit of God thy God require of thee, but to desire to fear the Spirit of God thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Spirit of God thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul? And this is what we must keep as a friends. Keep this within our hearts. We can't worship no other God, no idols, but walk in all his ways and to promise him. Keep that covenant. Serve him with our heart and with all our soul. This is what is required of us as servants, as we call ourselves the children of Israel. But the prideful will not. They're going to seek after their own eyes. They're going to seek after their own heart. They don't care what the name of the way of Jehovah is. So 12, let's go down to 13. To keep the commandments of the Spirit of God and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Behold, remember the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Spirit of God thy God, the earth also with all that therein is. Only the Spirit of God had a delight in thy fathers to love, to promise them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked, be no more proud. Circumcise that pride. He's given us the blueprint on how to do it. For the Spirit of God your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward. So that's why he says circumcised. Every male should be circumcised. Every man should be circumcised, because he regardeth not persons, nor taketh rewards. He is in worship with men's hands. Let's go to 20. Thou shalt fear, thou shalt desire the Spirit of God thy guide. Him shalt thou serve, and to him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his way. Romans 9. Four through 8. Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law, those instructions of heritage, and the service of Jehovah, and the promises, the covenant. Who are Israelites? Those that take heed to themselves, those that understand what is required, those that fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love and promise him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Verse 5 of Romans chapter 9. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, that pride, Christ came, because he came to abolish it. He came to condemn that flesh. He came to show you how to renew your mind in the spirit, not of the letter, not of the flesh, but of the spirit, who is over all. He is over all. That's why it says, behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Spirit of God thy God. The earth also with all that therein is. Christ, Spirit of God. Only the Spirit of God had a delight in thy Father to love them and choose their seed after them, even you above all people, who is over all. God, wisdom and knowledge is given forever. Amen. But he is over all, but is he over all? Not as though that word, Jehovah, of have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel. So will you be humbled enough to understand that he is over all? Your pride can't be over the guide of Israel, because for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Everyone ain't gonna take heed to it. Everybody ain't gonna humble themselves. They gonna keep that pride, and it's gonna bring a fall. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh of that pride, these are not the children of Jehovah, because they don't keep the commandments and his statutes. They don't understand that he's over all. They still haven't circumcised the foreskin of their heart, because they're still stiff-necked to that word, making it to none effect. For this is are not the children, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. He regardeth not persons, nor taketh rewards. He don't care if you Abraham's children. But you gotta have that word, that token, that word of promise within you and keep it, then you can be called. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 28. 8 through 10. Now therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of the Spirit of God, and in the audience of our guide, keep and seek for all the commandments of the Lord of the Spirit of God your guide, that ye may possess this good land, and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. And thou, Solomon, my servant, know thou the guide of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For the Spirit of God searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. Take heed now, for the Spirit of God hath chosen thee to build an house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. And this sanctuary is not made with man's hands, or any stone of pride. Because a prideful man, Christian, will tell you, oh, see, we got to take this right here, we got to build us a church house. We got to build us a place where we can worship. But no, it says, take heed now. Understand this, for the Spirit of God hath chosen thee to build an house for the sanctuary. So let's find out what that sanctuary is. Let's go to Acts 17. Because we put away pride. We go by precepts, not pride. God, verse 24. God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the creator of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. He is over all. So he gives life to every all, those that are obedient, not just a Christian. Because a Christian ain't going to understand, they ain't going to know who this God is. Because they still go into the building where he does not dwell. So how can they understand the word? The word is God, and that word is not in those buildings. It should be inside of you, flowing out of your mouth, because it's on your heart. You circumcise your foreskin of your wicked heart, and have renewed your mind to speak the oracles of Jehovah. Not your own words, but him who hath sent. He has sent. He sent that word for us to be reformed by, to be cleaned by, renewed by. So we got to put away that pride so that that word can work within our members. If not, we're going to have pride and we're going to have the word battling. And that pride is going to take over, but it's going to destroy you in the end. Because Jehovah is going to flee from you because he sees that you're a liar. You're not keeping that commandment, covenant of life. You rather have the wisdom of this world and pride of this life. Acts 17:25, 26. and hath made of one life, one blood, all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. That they should seek the Creator, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. So let's go to Deuteronomy to confirm that word is not far from us. We have no excuse. 30 and 14. Let's start at 11. For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Verse 27 of Acts 17. That they should seek the Creator, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live and more and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said. For we are also his offspring. For as much then as we are the offspring of Jehovah, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold, men, or silver, women, or stone, those buildings, graven by art, the perfection and beauty, and man's device. Verse 30. In the times of this ignorance God winked at, but now commanded all men everywhere to repent, because he hath appointed a day in the which he will judge the world in righteousness. And let's see that. John 4. Let's see that day. But the hour in John 4:23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Acts 17:31. Because he hath appointed a day in the which he will teach the world in righteousness, by that man whom he hath ordained, whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead. So he gave him a life without corruption. He renewed his mind into the spiritual, which is the spirit of everlasting life. Verse 32. And when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, and others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. So Paul departed from among them. Howbeit certain men clave unto him, and believed, among the which was Dionysius the Areopagite, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. John 12, 35 through 50. Then salvation said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. They have no God. That pride will blind you from that light. It will set you right in darkness. It will deceive you to think you have light, but that's a false light, temporary light. Verse 36. While you have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Yahushua and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. They believed in that flesh. They was looking upon that flesh. Just like the people today worship that flesh, that the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Creator, who have believed our report. Because our report is not of ourselves. And to whom have the arm of the Creator been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, He hath blinded their eyes, their understanding, and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. That pride will get in the way every time. It's going to make your heart hard as rock, hard as stone, so that seed would never penetrate. That word would never penetrate. We all have a lot of work to do. We have to till our grounds so that our hearts could be that good ground that receives that word of truth and converts us into the image of the righteousness of Jehovah by keeping his word, by obeying his word, and not being puffed up and prideful. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess, praise him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. And this is a condition of pride, when we care what others are saying or mentioning about us. We just passing through. They gonna talk about you just like they talked about Yahushua. They talked about all the prophets. But we can't focus on that. We can't be prideful. We got to stick to the script and know where our strength lies, which is in the spirit of Jehovah. For they loved the praise, the confession of men more than the praise of Jehovah. Can't be caught on that side of the plumb line. Salvation cried and said, He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, not on that flesh, but on him that sent me, that word. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on him should not abide in darkness. So this whole world is void and full of wickedness and darkness. But that light, that beacon of light, has come to guide us back into the marvelous light of our Father, our Creator. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I teach him not. For I came not to teach the world, but to save the world, redeem those that are separated from out of the world. That pride is in the world. That pride is of the world, We must not be of that world, but we have to be in the world, because this is where we dwell until the time comes when he receives us back. We must endure to the end from that prideful ways of the world. 48. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words have one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself. I wish they could read this and understand that they blaspheming against the Spirit of God by putting these words on a man, saying that he's God. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that this commandment is life everlasting, whatsoever I speak thereof. Therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. Deuteronomy 18:18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I should command him. Let's go to John 1:1. Because it's the word that he put in them. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. I will raise them up a prophet, a mouthpiece, from among their brethren. In him was the light. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Like unto thee, and will put my words. The Word was God. In him was life. God is life. And the life was the light of men. And he shall speak unto them all that I should command him. That light of men. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my way, I will require it of him. And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee? And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my way, I will require it of him. So with his word that this prophet spoke is the commandments, that wisdom, all his ways, and the instructions on how to love him and how to serve him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. This is what he will put in that prophet. And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. John 6. (27 through 29), 35, 41 through 44, 63 through 64. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the servant of man shall give unto you, for him hath God the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of Jehovah? Salvation answered and said unto them, This is the work of Jehovah, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. That word which is coming out of that prophet's mouth. 35. And salvation said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. 41 through 44. The Jews then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. Not having the understanding that it's not the flesh that profit, but it's the spirit, and his word is spirit and life. And they said, Is not this Jesus, Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? Yeah, we know that Jesus is speaking, but he's not speaking of himself. He's speaking of that spirit which is within him. He's not speaking of pride, because a prideful man would say he is God. And that's why they killed him, because they are prideful and they thought that he was saying that he was God, but that's not what he was saying. Same way the Christians say today in pride that he is God, that he confessed to be God. But he never confessed to be God. He confessed of God. He praised God, confessed the way of Jehovah, which was the way, the only way, true way back to the Father. How is it then that he said, I came down from heaven? So, Jesus, Yahushua therefore answered and said unto them, Murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me, this is the Spirit, except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Can't no flesh raise you up. Only the Spirit. He could, if the flesh could raise himself, he could have raised himself up. But we see the flesh was in the grave, from dust to dust, but the Spirit rose again, because it was attached. It was in the image of Jehovah. Deuteronomy 18 and 18, he will raise him up a prophet. These are the last days to give us that word of salvation. 63 through 64. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. It's not flesh and pride. It's spirit and life. Because pride brings nothing but death and destruction. 64. But they are some of you that believe not. For Yahweh knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. So it's a mixed multitude. We must understand that. We must strive for that word and not regarding flesh. Psalms 119, 104, through 105. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. That false way is of pride. Black pride, void ignorance, pride. Thy word is a lamp. Thy word is that light unto my feet, unto my desire, and a light unto my path. It's going to give you guidance, give you a way to see a way through the darkness. 110. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts, because thy word is a lamp to our feet, so we don't stumble in the dark. Thy precepts is that light. It's going to enlighten us while we on this journey. 116. Uphold me according to thy word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. Thy word, what he says, word is spirit. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Uphold me according unto thy spirit and thy life, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. That's why we use precepts, so that we hate and we can stay out of those falsehoods and those false ways of idols. Jeremiah 7:24-28. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. This is why we was in the wilderness so long. Our forefathers, they went backwards and not forward into the land. That good ground, they couldn't find it. That seed couldn't find anywhere to land. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Yes, we do worse than our fathers, because we are worshiping a man. They didn't worship the man. They killed the man because they didn't have understanding of what the man was saying. We don't have understanding of what the man is saying, and we worship him at the same time. How can you worship somebody you don't understand? That don't make sense. It's all confusion, craziness. That's why they are called Christians, because they're liars. Therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken unto thee. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, This is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Spirit of God their God, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth. Wisdom of Solomon 2:21-24. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. That pride. their own wickedness. As for the mysteries of Jehovah, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness. No, they want to come as they are. They don't want to renew their mind. They think they are all good. They think the man that they think is their God died and paid it all for them, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil, they leaders, came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Because they're going to hold on to them leaders. They're going to hold on to their preachers. They're going to hold on to their pastor. They're going to hold on to that Jesus, Caesar Borgia. They're going to hold on to them images of him having a lamb on one side and a baby child on the other side, like he teaching something. Confusion. That pride. Those images are nothing but pride to keep you in bondage. Servitude of the flesh. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Isaiah 14. (11) 13 through 15, 18, 20, and 22 through 27. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. For thou hast said in thine heart, being prideful, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. 22 through 27. For I will rise against them, says the Spirit of God of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the way and remnant and son and nephew, says the Spirit of God. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, says the Spirit of God of hosts. The Spirit of God of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Spirit of God of hosts hath purposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? Proverbs 21 and 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So you wander out of the way of precepts, because through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Remain in the congregation of the dead. Let's go to Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 15, 1 through 2, 7 through 8, and 10. He that feareth desireth the spirit, the Creator will do good, and he that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her. Speaking about wisdom. And as a mother shall she meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. 7 through 8. But foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her. For she is far from pride, and men that are liars cannot remember her. For praise for confession shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Creator will prosper it. Proverbs 1, 22 through 25, and 29 through 33. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn ye at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my power, my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and want none of my reproof. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the desire of the Spirit of God. They would none of my counsels, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Let's go to Job 33. Start at 14. For God speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. 15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed. 16. Then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. We're going down to 18. That he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from men. He keepeth back his soul from the pit, and his life from perishing by the sword. 22 through 30. Yea, his soul draweth near unto the grave, and his life to the destroyers. If there be a messenger with him, and an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him, and saith, Deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray, confess unto Jehovah, and he will be favorable unto him. And he shall see his face, his understanding with joy, for he will render unto man his righteousness. He looketh upon men, and if any say, I have sinned and perverted that which was right, and it profit me not, he will deliver his soul from going into the pit, and his life shall see the light. Lo, all these things work of Jehovah oftentimes with men, to bring back his soul from the pit, to be enlightened with the light of the living. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Eighteen, 15. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. So this word was sent into that pride to put in work. Malachi 3, 1 through 6. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Creator whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, says the Spirit of God of hosts. But who may abide in the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Spirit of God an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Spirit of God, as in the days of old, and as in former years. And I will come near to you to judge teachings and doctrines, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, all those that are prideful in the flesh, and against those that oppress the hirelings in wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, says the Spirit of God of hosts. For I am the Spirit of God, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So he's given us a way, a warning, and a way to get out before that visitation comes. Because I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hirelings in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, that turn aside the stranger from his side, from his right, and fear not me, saith the Spirit of God of hosts. So he coming. He is coming. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Thy word is nigh unto us. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not so he have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Spirit of God. Joshua. Joshua 1, verse 8 and 9. This book of the law, instructions, and ordinances shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. According to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Spirit of God thy guide is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Let's go to Hosea. Four, 6, and 7. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because this book, they don't believe in it. They not hearkening to this book. That should not depart out of thy mouth. And we should be meditating therein day and night. So we observe. But we not observing. We not studying to show ourselves approved. None of that. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. But the camps will tell you it's Esau. It's all because of Esau. No, it's because you have rejected the knowledge, the wisdom that's pertaining to only Israel, which you call yourself. But we know there are a mixed multitude. There's real ones and always fake ones. Those are the fake Jews. They want to be seen of men. They want that pride to be glorified. That's why they stand on corners. That's why they got all these signs and posters, images of pride, falsehoods, of deceit. We can't be caught up with it. We got to keep pushing, because they not like us. We learn through precepts. They learn through theology, man's wisdom. Our wisdom don't come from this earth, this world. Our wisdom is separate. So, let's see. Jeremiah chapter 10. Jeremiah chapter 10. Verse 2 and 3. 2 and 3a. Hear ye the word. 10:2. Thus says the Spirit of God. Let's start at 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus says the Spirit of God. Learn not the way of the heathen. Don't learn the way of those men that say they are of Israel, but are of the world. Learn things of the world. Carnal minded. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. I just wanted that 3a. Let's see a vain custom. 2 Kings and we still do this to today. Respect the persons. Think that a man can save us, or a group of people can save us. Black Lives Matters. In the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. 20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Spirit of God his guide, like David his father, because that pride came in. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yea, and made his son to pass through the fire according to the abomination of the heathen. The customs of the people are vain. Learn not the way of the heathen. We just read that in Jeremiah 10:2. Whom the Spirit of God cast out from before the children of Israel. And he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places and on the hills and under every green tree. Verse 7 through 8. What is it? 7 through 8. So Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria, and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. Verse 8. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Spirit of God and in the treasures of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. So we see pride will get you in a heap of trouble. It'll have you giving gifts to men, worshiping them, believing that a man can save you. Psalms chapter 10. Let's show some, let's see. Psalms 10, 4 and 11. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Jehovah. Jehovah is not in all his thoughts. He has said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hath hid his face. He will never see it. This is what's inside of a prideful heart. Psalms 106, 28. Mm. 28. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor, and ate the sacrifices, learned the established covenant of the dead. 29. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague brake in upon them. So we see the cause and effect of pride, that disease. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, 10, verse 3, 5, 7, 19 through 21. 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority the city shall be inhabited. In the hand of Jehovah is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribes shall he lay his honor. 7. Pride is hateful before thy guide and men, and by both doth one commit iniquity. 19 through 21. They that fear the Spirit, they that desire the Creator are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable, so are they that fear the Creator in his eyes. The desire of the Creator goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. Jeremiah 13. 15 through 19. Hear ye and give ear, be not proud, for the Spirit of God hath spoken. Give glory to the Spirit of God your God, before he cause darkness, and before your feet your desire stumble upon the dark mountains. And while ye look for light, he turn it into the shadow of death, and make it gross darkness. But if ye will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places for your pride, and mine understanding, mine eyes shall weep sore and run down with tears, because the Spirit of God's flock is carried away captive. Say unto the king and to the queen, humble yourselves, sit down, for your principality shall come down, even the crown of your glory. The cities of the south shall be shut up, and none shall open them. Judah shall be carried away captive. All of it, it shall be wholly carried away captive. 24 and 25. Therefore will I scatter them as the stubble that passeth away by the wind of the wilderness. This is thy lot, the portion of thy measures from me, says the Spirit of God, because thou hast forgotten me and trusted in falsehood. First Timothy 4:16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. And the last one for the night, Psalms 106. One oh six, 47 and 48. Save us, O Spirit of God, our God, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy way, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Spirit of God, thy guide of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen. Praise ye the Spirit of God. So even if We are prideful. He gives us instruction on how to circumcise that pride and how to get rid of it. Our desires should be towards the spirit and not towards any flesh. That is a condition of pride. We know that our God is spirit and we must worship him in spirit and in truth. And the only way we can do that is by studying to show ourselves approved, getting closer to the spirit and further away from the flesh. And this is Deacon DeForest Smith, straight out of Compton. And I hope you're richly edified and enlightened. And I would like to say shalom.